It's time for fantasy football semi-pros.
Let's do it.
Oh.
You ready? You got me running.
Welcome back to Fantasy Football Semi-Pros. I'm Brandon. With me again is Ryan.
What's up?
And I just wanted to mix it up and throw you off a little bit with the list.
Yeah, you did. Well, I'm going to throw you off with this first pick of the draft. So,
Well, fair. So that's alluding to what we're going to do today. Today we're going to host a post-NFL draft rookie superflex mock draft again.
Superflex mock draft.
So once again, we flipped the coin to see who got first pick.
I got first pick this time.
Yep, Ryan got it this time.
I'm going to blow your mind, everybody. Look, this draft was insane.
This was
probably the most entertaining draft we've had in our lifetime.
And it wasn't necessarily because of the picks.
There was just so many trades, and then there were so many trades happening that ESPN and ABC couldn't keep up. They weren't even telling us what. Houston trades back to 13 and gives Detroit 12. And they're like, what? Why? It's one pick. Okay, whatever.
But yeah, this was definitely an interesting draft, and it mixed things up a little bit.
One quarterback.
Yeah, I was happy to see that the NFL kind of agreed with everybody that these quarterbacks aren't worth it.
Carson Strong wasn't even drafted.
But
undrafted free agent to the Eagles?
I don't know. I didn't see where he signed.
I took a screenshot of it somewhere.
As of last night, I didn't see anything, but
I don't think Devontae Price signed either.
I didn't see anything as of last night, but we'll figure it out. I know rookie drafts, some of them starting today. I know ours starts on next weekend.
Yep.
So we wanted to get this out kind of early. So without any more waiting. It's time for our rookie mock draft.
Streamlabs.
So we're actually going to restart this. So Ryan started with Treylon Burks in the first pick.
Yep.
And Treylon Burks drafted the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
Basically, Titans trade A.J. Brown and said, hey, we're going to take a guy that's just like you as your replacement.
I'm taking Treylon Burks first overall simply because his landing spot is ideal. You got a quarterback there, and you seem to love Tannehill in fantasy football. Always a top 10 QB, if I remember correctly.
I don't know if he was last year, but
the prior years he's been serviceable, especially in a super flex as a QB2. There's not a whole lot of weapons here besides Derrick Henry as the running back. So
I mean, they still have Robert Woods when he gets back and healthy.
Yeah, and they took a couple tight ends here,
and they have Austin Hooper,
and they drafted Chig Okonkwo out of Maryland. He's a pretty good tight end. I thought they had another one. I could be wrong though.
Now, what worries me about Burks, he's gonna have to be very effective.
Yes, that's why I took him. He's gonna have to produce fast.
Well, no, what I'm saying, he has to be very effective. I meant efficient. My bad.
Okay.
Words.
Okay.
Because Tennessee was the 31st worst team, or through the 31st most amount of times. So they were next to last.
Right.
Do you want to know who was last?
Was it Baltimore Ravens?
It was their trade partner, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
People are making moves, man. But who do you have at 1-2?
This drops to me, my overall 1-1, and I'm going to continue with Breece Hall.
I figured, and that's fine. I like where he landed, I guess, and I think the New York Jets had so many picks in the first round. I think they had 3.
They had one of the best drafts.
They had 3 first-round picks, and
they traded up into the third to get another third one. But they ended up with many people's top wide receiver.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
They end up with I can't think of his name now. Jackson or whatever, the guy they traded back into the first 4, who was in top 10 pick for most people.
Yeah, defensive guy.
They landed a lot of people's number 1 running back. They crushed this draft.
And they got Jeremy Ruckert out of Ohio State.
Which is interesting because they've also signed C.J. Uzomah, $24 million for 3 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for a tight end.
Tyler Conklin, $20 million for 3 years, and then they draft Ruckert in the third.
Yeah, maybe they're just hoping he develops over time. I don't know. But hey, I like it. I like your pick. And I'm going to follow your lead here with the next pick at 1.3.
Yep, that's who I was
Taking
thinking
a
to
running
take.
back. I'm taking Kenneth Walker, who got drafted by Seattle.
That was an interesting pick to me because Seattle, I think they're in a rebuild. I know they're higher on Drew Lock than a lot of other people were. And this tells me either Chris Carson is done.
He is. He's always hurt, man.
And a lot of people say this is a death sentence because Walker's going to be part of a committee with Penny, Carson, and him. Carson, he's hurt quite often.
Yeah.
Penny's had 6 good games, and he's hurt every year. So Walker may even be useful this year.
Yeah, I'm taking him. I think he's going to be used pretty efficiently. I think he's going to be used efficiently and effectively early on. It might take a few games here or there to get him used to the speed of the NFL, but I think he'll have an immediate impact pretty early.
So my next pick, I've been back and forth on these 3 receivers, and I was on our last mock draft. I was debating the same thing. Drake London went to Atlanta. Garrett Wilson went to New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And Jameson Williams went to Detroit. And if I had a competitive team and I was drafting at 4, this would impact my pick. But in a vacuum, I think Jameson Williams is going to be the best player, the best receiver out of this group
when he becomes healthy.
And I mean for the longevity of his career.
Longevity.
Yeah. So in this case, I'm going to go Jameson Williams.
Wow. You're going to let me take my boy out. Okay. Jameson Williams. I agree with your pick there. And we saw Detroit draft up or
this
trade
team,
up.
They actually have a good, solid offense.
The
Amon-Ra St. Brown,
yep.
Jameson Williams,
yep.
Swift, Hawkinson.
Yeah.
And they even got DJ Chark, who I think would be a good number 3 at this point.
Eventually, yeah.
And as long as Goff can be a competent quarterback, which he showed he can do when he was in Los Angeles.
He's a system guy.
This could actually be a decent offense.
It could be good. It could be all right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Once he's back, I think at 1-4, you got a really good pick there. And in real life, him falling to 12 was absolutely unreal to me. But okay, yeah. Well, I think everybody knows who I'm going to take at 1-5. I'm taking Drake London out of Atlanta. I don't like this landing spot just yet. I'm not a big fan of Marcus Mariota.
I don't think Mariota starts this whole year. I think Ritter does take over at some point.
And if that happens, I think that's good for both London and Ritter. Obviously, if Ritter's playing and he's on the field, he helps you.
And realistically, London's only competing with Pitts right now.
Yeah.
The other receivers on this team, Olamide Zacchaeus and Auden Tate.
Yeah.
None of those guys really move the needle for me at all.
No, not at all. But and this is also a longevity pick here. Drake London, if they get a quarterback in there, like you said, it's Pitts and London. I have Pitts in our Dynasty league.
Who knows? Calvin Ridley may be part of this team in the future again.
He's serving a 1-year suspension?
1-year suspension for betting on the NFL.
That's
why he wasn't playing.
That's dumb.
I think I do agree he should have been suspended, but I think he years a long time.
Roger Goodell, everybody hates that guy.
Yeah, actually, I think he's doing a good job, especially compared to Manfred of the Major League Baseball.
Yeah, he needs to go.
Well, anyways, we'll move on to pick 6.
Yeah, let's stop talking about that stuff.
And this is where things start to get a little interesting for me.
Yep. You're starting to look at where people went.
I mean, Olave, I'm not a huge fan of Olave, but I think he has a good landing spot. And who knows? Maybe we see the reemergence of 30-30 Jameis Winston.
I would love
him
to
open
see
it up.
Let him open it up, man. And yeah, Peyton's no longer the head coach in New Orleans. Is that who you're taking?
That is not who I'm going to take. I'm going to go ahead and go with Garrett Wilson.
Sorry, everybody. Goodness gracious.
But yeah, Garrett Wilson, I think he's got one of the safest 4s of this draft. And even though it hurts Elijah Moore's value a little bit, it just helps Wilson. And if Wilson can take that next step, and I'm talking about Zach Wilson in this case.
Right, the quarterback.
This could be a dangerous offense.
They have a lot of people on that team.
All right, so on to 1-7.
Oh man, this is hard. This is hard, man. I feel like so many teams reach like 34th overall pick Christian Watson to Green Bay. That's a reach,
Yeah.
man.
There's a lot of people saying that he should have been a first round pick still. So I'm not
43rd overall
against that
pick,
one.
Wandale Robinson.
That
to the
was a
Giants.
reach.
That's a reach.
They drafted Kadarius Toney again.
How about Tyquan Thornton to the New England Patriots? What?
What were the Patriots doing in this draft?
I don't.
They drafted a projected third round offensive lineman in the first round, a 7th round projected wide receiver in the second.
They will.
I mean,
sorry, man.
Are we allowed to question Belichick yet?
Yes,
is his old age starting to get to him?
And then they took Pierre Strong, running back out of South Dakota State,
and they took another running back like Walker or something.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's on the second page, I think. Running back? Yeah, Kevin Harris.
That's it.
No idea where he's from. South Carolina, I think.
Well, anyways.
Velus Jones to... What? Yeah, this is where it gets hard, because all these guys that I thought were good, I'm like, I don't know. So right now, I think I have to go with who I think is the best available and could potentially produce pretty quickly at wide receiver, and that is Jahan Dotson, who went to the Washington Commanders.
Okay, interesting pick. I don't think I can take the leap on him this early yet. I think he's a good player, and he's gonna have Terry McLaurin taking some eyes off of him. But
yeah, I think I mean the guy catches everything, and he can be used all over the darn field. So I like his chances to get on the field, stay on the field, and produce. So at this point in the draft, I think that's who I have to go with. And I notice our picks are a little bit different compared to last time. Neither one of us had taken a quarterback yet. Or a tight end.
Well, tight ends went like 111, 112.
Yeah, that's true.
But in this case, you mentioned none of us have taken a quarterback. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the first quarterback off the board, and I'm going to go with my first overall quarterback, Kenny Pickett.
It's not bad. I am kind of jealous.
I mean, I think he's landed in a great situation. He doesn't even change fields.
No, he doesn't even change stadiums, really. So he's comfortable. He's familiar with it.
I mean, I see one that's working out one of two ways. Well, one of three ways this year. He wins the job during training camp.
Okay.
He takes over midway through the season, or he sits for a year and takes over next year. And he has some weapons around him.
Yes.
Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, George Pickens, which I found it weird that they had Chase Claypool
announced George Pickens. Yeah, that was. I didn't catch that.
It almost felt like he
me.
was announcing the draft pick for his potential replacement.
Well, I'm not going quarterback just yet because I think he took the best one off. And I'm going to stack up on wide receivers, and I like where this guy landed. Not necessarily think he's going to be a blow-up player this year, but I like John Mechie III in Houston. I like it a lot. Davis Mills, leading receiver last year, with Brandon Cooks with 90.
Yeah.
The next most receptions by a receiver was like 33, I think.
Probably Nico Collins.
Yeah, it was Nico Collins with like 33 receptions compared to Brandon Cooks' 90 receptions. John Mechie's going to come in and he's going to have to play.
I like him, and I've done a few mock drafts leading up to this already, just kind of get a feel how it's going. I've been getting him in the second or third.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's just us two, so this is what I'm taking, and I like it. I don't feel too bad about it.
110. I was kind of surprised where this guy went, and Isaiah Spiller. I think he landed in a great spot. And
yeah, the Chargers.
He went day 3. I think it's still round 4 though, so I'm not too worried about where he went. So
yeah, he went 4th round, 123rd overall.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's my turn now.
Yes, at 111.
I'm gonna take a guy that I was not very high on, but looking at where he went, drafted 2nd round. In a pretty good offense that I think really good offense. There's a lot of weapons there to take eyes off of them. I'm going to get some depth here at running back and go with James Cook, even though I'm not a huge fan of him. I was not very high on him, but, I mean, Buffalo took him pretty early. So
That was a very interesting pick for me, that Buffalo took him early and took him specifically. Because Singletary's already a pass-catching back. It's like they don't have any trust in Moss anymore. I thought they were going to go somebody. They were going to go with a bruiser back that can handle the carries.
Yeah, like a Brian Robinson.
All right, so at this point,
This is the last pick of the first round already.
yep, and I mean, Olave's still sitting there, Pickens, but I'm going to go with somebody who he's basically going to be the replacement to Tyreek Moore. His play style is a little, or not Tyreek Hill, sorry.
Okay.
His play style is going to be kind of similar. And I'm going to go with Sky Moore.
Wow, I think that's
went
a
to
reach.
Kansas City.
No offense, I think it's a reach. But that's okay. That's your pick. That's okay. That's
All right.
okay.
So that finishes up round 1 for us.
Yeah.
And in this round, Ryan started with Treylon Burks. I took Bryce Hall.
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall, yeah. Sorry, I'm starting to think of next year. Bryce Young.
What's the new one?
Kenneth Walker for Ryan at 3. I took Jameson Williams. Drake London for Ryan. Garrett Wilson for me. Jahan Dotson.
Hello.
Wow.
Kenny Pickett, dude.
I'm
Come on, let's
off
get
now.
it. You want me to read the names? I'll read the names.
Pickett, Mechie, Spiller,
James Cook at
Cook,
111.
and Moore. Sky Moore.
Sky Moore.
So, starting off round 2, Ryan, who you going to take with 2-1?
I think I have to take him here. I can't let him fall any further. And I'm going to take Chris Olave at 2-1.
Good pick. He's actually going to be my next pick if he was still sitting here.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm not worried about it.
And yeah, maybe we get to see Jamison Williams of old just unleashing it and throwing bombs everywhere. And maybe Chris Olave is the benefactor of some of those throws. So yeah, I think we got to go with him here.
And I'm going to go ahead and take George Pickens,
Well,
who went to Pittsburgh. Attitude problems aside, and I will say this might be the best place for him because they did handle Antonio Brown for a while.
yeah, and Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. And so Mike Tomlin might get that attitude in check, at least for while he's on the
It's
team.
a fresh start for this kid, so maybe he'll be more.
And he's got some athletic talent, so.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, well, I think finally I got to take a quarterback, and I think I'm going to go with somebody who I think has the opportunity to play sooner than the rest of these guys, and I'm going to take a guy that I'm not very high on, but see potential in, Desmond Ritter.
Ah, I guessed.
Oh, no, I don't think he'll play very soon. I think because Carolina's paying Sam Darnold so much money, they're going to have to play him and let Corral develop.
So, just because I really want this guy, and I can't let him slip through my fingers, I'm going to go with the first tight end off the board.
Trey
McBride.
I knew it. That's okay.
And I was hoping he dropped to the Bengals. I was really hoping he dropped to the Bengals. But Arizona, I think, is a good spot for him. And they have a lot of weapons.
They have Max Williams, Ertz, and now Trey McBride.
And not only that, they got Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, AJ Green,
They got Hollywood Brown?
They trade for Hollywood Brown.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Good point.
All right, so 2-5.
Who the heck do I take at 2-5? Where do I need to go? Probably not going to take him, but I'm going to talk about him. Rashad White out of Tampa Bay. I'm not picking him.
That was an interesting pick, and I like it.
I don't know how he's going to be used there.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hesitant, and I might wait a couple picks here. But I think my goal line guy is going to be Brian Robinson Jr., who was drafted by Washington. And I might be reaching a little high here, but I said I'm going to take him in the middle of the second round. And I'm taking Brian Robinson Jr. here.
I hate Brian Robinson Jr.
I'm sorry.
because he is taking away from my Antonio Gibson pick.
Yep, I know.
And this backfield, Brian Robinson Jr., Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick,
Jarrett Patterson's
Patterson's
He's
probably
probably-
gone,
yeah, he's
or
probably
he's special
practice
team
squad.
guy. But
And I like Jarrett Patterson a lot. I was a huge fan of him in Buffalo. I mean, the dude broke every single rushing record in only 3 years at Buffalo. I know it's the MAC,
yeah,
but
and then I'm going to take a guy here. I've kind of played the game knowing Ryan wouldn't take him. I don't think he drops this far in actual mock drafts. I'm going to go with Kristen Watson. I think he landed in a good spot, and I think he's going to be a solid receiver for Green Bay.
really, because that's not my first wide receiver pick that I would take from Green Bay, and I'm actually going to take him now. Romeo Doubs.
I'm kind of going.
He was going to be my next pick anyway.
Fair. I have him lower just because I do think, from what I've seen, he is going in the 3rd and even 4th round in mock drafts
Still, the day after the draft, so
But I don't think he's going to move up all that much.
that's fine.
But no, I do agree. I think it was a good pick. And I text you, I was like, this is a really good landing spot for him.
Yeah, I was.
And I think he complements Watson really well.
There's another wide receiver that went to Green Bay that I think I was following early on. We'll talk about him later.
So at this point, things are starting to get a little interesting for me.
Yeah, this is the towards the end of the second round. It's all about who do I hope pays off.
I think Leonard Fournette's missing times the last couple of years.
Oh no!
And I'm going to go ahead and go with Rashad White.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good pick. I was hoping I could wait till the 3rd to get him. That's okay. Interesting pick there. Interesting pick.
All right, and so Ryan's pick at 1-9.
I think I need I think I need a backup QB here. Pretty stacked elsewhere. Actually, I don't have a tight end at all.
I'm not even like looking at this as I'm building a team. I'm just kind of going. This is who I'd pick at this point in the draft.
You took by far who I thought was the best overall tight end in this draft. I'm not high on a lot of these guys. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna take another guy who I think has a chance to play maybe towards the later half of the season if things don't work out for what's going on there. And Carolina, and I'm gonna take Matt Corral.
Okay, good pick. And there's a lot of people. He was still to hit their number one quarterback off the board, and he's the only quarterback here that I think came out early.
Yes, he was a junior.
And I think he does have some intangibles. I think he's going to have to run a little less or learn to slide. But, yeah, it's a good pick here. So, I'm going to go ahead and say, boiler up. I'm going to go with David Bell. I think he's actually going to be a good number 2 receiver down the road for Cleveland. And they've got Amari Cooper ahead of him. So, David Bell, I think he could be good in those slants. He's a very good route runner.
Yeah, he lacks speed. He lacks size. He lacks explosiveness.
He's a jack of all trades.
But he is a fantastic wide receiver. He uses the tools at his disposal, and he has really, 200-yard receiving games almost every year.
Ryan and I were talking after this. Like, well, I guess we can't like David Bell anymore.
Allergy, sorry.
He's like, yeah, I hope he does well against everybody but the Bengals.
Yeah, but the Bengals.
It's going to be he's going to do well only against the Bengals now.
Yeah, I feel like that will probably happen. It's such a bummer. Dang it. Man, I don't even know who to take. I think after this pick, I'm going to go blow my nose. Dude. Russell Wilson doesn't really throw his hands.
He threw to Will Disley and
Craig Olsen.
No. He plays for the Chiefs now.
Man,
Gerald Everett last year.
Nah.
He did have Jimmy Graham for a while, a.k.a. Jimmy Grandpa.
For some reason, this guy was high on like Mo Kiper's board. I'm just gonna take him. Greg Dulcich out of Denver.
He's still my number 2 tight end. He was actually somebody I was going to take soon. Well, actually, no, he's my number 3 now.
Who's your number 2? Jelani Woods.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take Malik Willis. The slides hit too far, and I don't see Malik Willis being the QB at Tennessee this year. Which, if you want to go ahead and go blow your nose, I'll talk.
Yeah, sorry, man.
I don't see him being the QB this year, but he's definitely somebody who has to sit for a year in order to, I think, get NFL ready. And I think they have a year or 2 left on Tannehill's contract. So this could be the perfect time to kind of bring Malik Willis along because he has the intangibles to be a good QB. So that ends our second round. And in this case, Ryan started off with Olave. I went Pickens, Ryan Ritter, Trey McBride, Brian Robinson, Kristen Watson, Romeo Doubs, Rashad White, Matt Corral, David Bell, Greg Dulcich, and Malik Willis.
Yeah, back on Malik Willis. He's a good athlete, man. He just needs to be developed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a future pick. That's a down the road longevity.
And like I said, I've done a few mock drafts since. I've seen him taken anywhere from the end of the first to mid-second.
Okay. Yeah, the fact that he fell for us down to basically the third.
So, Ryan, who are you taking with 3-1 here?
Just because I don't know who the guy is in this city, and I like this guy's running style. This guy is a monster. Fast for how big he is.
Put it on there if you want.
Tyler Algier.
Good pick. He's actually
Drafted
someone that
by
was
Atlanta.
He was coming up in my queue. And I mean, I think you only have I can't remember who you have in front of him right now. I know Cordero Patterson's there.
Yeah, Cordero Patterson. Ooh.
And let's see. Mike Davis. They still have Mike Davis and Damian Williams.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm not really too...
I'm not worried about this. This guy, he's a power runner, like we've said.
Might be a TD Vulture.
He could be, and that's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that right here.
Ah, man, sorry, guys.
Well, at this point, I am going to go ahead and go with my number 2 tight end off the board.
I still don't know. Oh, I do have him.
And I'm going to go with Jelani Woods.
Somebody that we didn't even talk about.
I mentioned him, but I hadn't really watched him. This guy, he is athletic. He is very athletic out of Virginia.
He's big, too. And bringing up Virginia, if I may, next year, look out for, I think his name is Brennan Armstrong, the QB out of Virginia. I was watching film on him this year, and then when he announced that he was going to return for his senior year, I was like, oh, okay.
All right,
well, this is probably the year he should have came out, but all right.
Actually, I think I've seen him. He's like number 3 ranked quarterback right now for next year, behind Stroud and Young.
Yeah, I thought he would have been in contention for number 1 QB this year if he would have came out.
I guess. But now for your 3-3 pick.
Oh, 3-3. Man. I have no idea. Now it's who I just hope comes up and does something. I don't know a lot of these names anymore. I don't like a lot of them, but I guess right now, just going off of who I think has the best chance to be successful early and for a long time, I'm going to go Alec Pierce.
Oh, he was going to be my next pick.
So. Alec Pierce, Indianapolis Colts from UC.
I know you're not a fan, but I think this was a very good pick, and I think this is the type of receiver that Matt Ryan likes to throw to.
Yeah, and I think it'll be a good fit for him. I think the fact that I got him down here is pretty wild to me, but we'll see how it goes.
So I'm going to take a running back that I think has a chance to start this year, and I'm going to go with Damian Pierce with Houston.
Okay.
I don't think he has that much competition. Marlon Mack. I think that's about it right now.
We know how he.
They might still have Johnson.
I think they do have David Johnson, but he's very old.
He hasn't looked good. And David Pierce has a really good shot of at least continuing being a committee back.
This is true.
All right, so at 3-5, Ryan is taking.
I'm looking. This might be a reach, but I kind of like where this guy landed, and I'm going to go back to running back here. And I'm going to take Kyron Williams, who I had pretty high on my rankings for running backs early on.
Okay, landed with the Rams. Interesting. I'm not sold on that. That backfield, I think, is just so congested. I'm not sure how that's going to go.
Yeah, and this is not a. I'm hoping at 3-5, I'm not expecting him to plug and play right away. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So at this point, I'm going to go with another wide receiver that I liked pre-draft, and I think has a lot of upside. He went to Buffalo. I'm going to go with Khalil Shakir.
Khalil Shakir. Yeah, he's an interesting player. I like his skill set. He's got a lot of raw talent.
Yep.
And I was gonna go, and I thought my pick was gonna be crazy, but I'm probably reaching here. But the fact that this kid was taken so high in the actual draft, 43 overall, by the New York Giants, I'm gonna take that speedster from Kentucky, Wan'Dale Robinson.
I don't know where he's gonna fit in. Like I said, he seems like another version of Kadarius Toney. They have Sterling Shepard. They have
Kenny Galladay.
Yes, Kenny Galladay,
who's always hurt.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a congested. Yeah, they're building a team of just receivers. So
Yep.
we'll see where he goes and how he does. But I mean, at 3-7, am I really losing much here?
So at this point, I'm taking a flyer.
Okay.
Round 3, I'm throwing darts sometimes at this point.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with a running back who was on nobody's board. He was drafted, and I said, who the hell is that guy? I'm going with Tyrion Davis-Price, who was drafted by the 49ers in, I think, the 3rd round.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea who that guy is. San Francisco?
I mean, running backs in San Francisco, it almost doesn't matter where you're picked, unless you're Sermon. You produce. And in the 3rd round, I'm willing to take this flyer with Elijah Moore always hurt. There's no issue with me taking this pick.
Well, I don't have any issue with you taking that pick. I mean, yeah, he was drafted pretty high. 93rd overall.
Yep. So we'll go on to 3-9.
I had 2 picks left, yeah.
Yep.
No, man.
We can go to a 4th round. I've got it on here if you want.
No, that's okay. We'll have to keep this video sort of short to keep people thinking. I'm going to go very interesting here, but I like this kid coming out of college. I like him a lot. Bailey Zapp. I don't think Bailey Zappi out of Western Kentucky, QB. I don't think he will ever play, except for if Mac Jones is hurt. But he might get a chance somewhere down the road, like a Ryan Fitzpatrick kind of guy.
He kind of seems like a Brian Hoyer type.
Yeah,
where he's always going to be the backup for New England.
Maybe, and he may get a chance somewhere else. Who knows? This is a very interesting pick. But I
said it last week during when we talked about quarterbacks that Zappi seems like he's going to be a career backup. And after he was picked, Mel Kiper said the same thing. Career backup.
Yep.
All right. Well, at this point,
I just like the kid. Okay.
No, I know you do. And I text you as soon as he was picked. Like, well, there goes your hope on Zappi.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm going to go ahead and take Tyler Beatty.
Okay.
The Ravens, they have J.K. Dobbins. They have Gus Bell, both coming off, I think, ACLs or Achilles, or one of each. I can't remember. Bailey, I think, is going to be a decent running back here. If I can find him. Or Beatty, sorry, not Bailey.
Yeah, what happened to Justin Ross? Not even signed to the Undrafted free agent.
Yeah, he hasn't been signed yet, but I don't know. So Brian's last pick with 311.
Apparently has a foot injury. Oh. 311, and I was high on this guy early on in the season, but the team that he played for was just so horrendous and so hard and so unbearable to watch. But I like this kid a lot, and I like where he landed. And the fact that he was drafted 258th overall due to landing spot, I'm going to take him. And his name is Samori Toure out of Nebraska, wide receiver. With Aaron Rodgers at QB, this might be the reach of the season, the reach of the draft. I don't know. But if he's on my roster and he starts heating up with Aaron Rodgers, I think I won't be mad at taking him 311.
All right. So for the last pick of our draft for 312, I got a couple names here that I'd like to take. Jalen Tolbert, Zamir White.
Yeah.
Keontae Ingram, he's another running back that we didn't talk about that's interesting. He could take up that backup role behind James Conner in Arizona.
Yep.
But I'm going to go with one more tight end here. I think he actually got a really good landing spot with Logan Thomas being hurt and may not be returning at the beginning of this season.
Ooh,
and he could be somebody who takes the reins in a couple of years. I'm going to go with Cole Turner, who was drafted by the Commanders.
Are they the It Commanders? Jay and Silent Bob.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
I might just start calling them the Manders, though. No, one thing I did find interesting, I saw another name on here. Jake Ferguson. I found it funny. I compared him to Blake Jarwin.
and then he goes to
He was
Dallas.
drafted by Dallas.
Yeah, man. This is, again, interesting draft. It's going to be fun to see how this all turns out. And I'm going to keep these.
I wish I could say I'm excited for our rookie drafts, but in two of our drafts, I think I have a combined 2 picks. And another one, I have 2 picks in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to draft, but like I've done some mock drafts just on my own without anybody else, just looking to see like what I can get with those picks, and I'm like, this sucks. I only have 1 pick. But I mean, no matter what the rosters look like, or the draft class looks like, it's always fun to draft.
Oh yeah, for sure. To see where people go.
This could be the time where you guys could get some value out of your draft picks. This is when people have rookie fever.
Yes.
So if you want to get some players that could be good, don't be afraid to trade those draft picks right now.
Right.
But this is our mock draft after the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. And like I said, we're going to take a bit of a break probably until about August. Come August, we'll start doing our preseason stuff. We might start a little bit in July as well. Yeah,
maybe 1 or 2 here and there.
But thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you later.
Deuces.
You ready? Yeah, you got me running, got me running.